Good morning, everyone. I hope that you can hear me okay. A little bit of an echo in yoga at the house, but it's wonderful to be here with all of you. And I'm grateful that we get to still connect in this way, and hopefully we're touching some folks that are out in the ethers, wherever you are in the waking state. I just want to say I'm very, very proud of all the teachers from Yoga by the Sea that have offered to give their time and their energy to continue the momentum of our beautiful studio and ashram by the sea, so that we can still offer the classes to all of our students, as well as open it up and reach folks that are far and wide. So welcome to my home, and I'm so grateful for you welcoming me into your home. So this morning we're going to put our attention to the heart chakra, so that we can just begin to sense and feel into what's happening there. And are we contracted? Are we feeling a little bit afraid? Or can we rest in a sense of openness? Can we rest in a sense of allowing? So I'm going to invite you now just to simply close your eyes. And if it feels appropriate, you're free to rest your hands here at the center of the chest. If you would rather rest them palms up or down on your knees and thighs. And some of you may even want to bring your hands into a prayer position, the Anjali Mudra, the mudra of the heart, the mudra of devotion. Just allowing yourself to notice, first of all, just sitting, just being here now. And now bringing attention to the breath and noticing its natural ebb and flow, without making yourself unnecessarily concerned with it. Just simply notice its natural rhythm. And then just simply notice now, like the thoughts that are moving through the screen of the mind. Noticing if you are getting caught by any particular thoughts. And see if you can just simply allow yourself just to rest back and watch these thoughts move through like clouds in a clear blue sky. Without any identification, labeling, judging, just watching. Allowing meditative awareness to begin to surface. And noticing any prominent sensations that may be present now that you didn't notice moments ago. Maybe some tingling or heat, maybe vibration. You may feel cool, you may feel even cramping. And just notice that. Just Notice that. There may be emotions, energy in motion moving through you. And again, just notice that as you allow yourself to connect to the self. And then if there is an intention for your sadhana this morning, something that you're just simply bringing light to, so allow that to either come to the forefront of your attention or allow it to naturally, spontaneously bubble up. And if nothing came up for you, I offer this to you. I am at peace with myself as I am, the other as they are, and the world as it is, right now. I am at peace with myself as I am, the other as they are, the world as it is, right now. And I invite you now to join our voices together in this energetic sangha, wherever you are in the waking state, as we chant the sound, the seed sound of all existence, the sound of Om. And if your hands are not yet at your heart, maybe draw the hands up towards the center of the chest and place them palm over palm, so you can feel the vibration of this mantra. Let's breathe in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now slowly allow your hands to fall towards the lap and notice the reverberation that still exists even though you're not making a sound. From this seated position. As you breathe in, just lean back just a little bit, lifting the sternum, lifting the crown. Feel that extension through the spine. And as you're ready to exhale, allow yourself to begin to fold forward. You can use the hands to guide you. Go slow until you feel that natural stop point in the body. Emptying the lungs fully. Relax completely. And then on your next inhalation, slowly again begin to lift yourself up. Following the inhalation all the way until you find yourself at the top of the inhalation. Lift the sternum, extend through the crown of the head. And as you're ready to exhale again, allow yourself to slowly begin to bow forward. Exhaling fully. Emptying the lungs. Relaxing completely. You're on your own. Feel the natural inhalation that arises as you begin to find your way back up. Extending through the sternum out through the crown of the head. Filling your lungs fully. Pause at the top of the inhalation. And then as you feel the natural prompting to exhale, begin to allow yourself to exhale. Fold forward in the bowing breath. The body and the breath moving together in perfect harmony. As you continue to move back and forth slowly, consciously feeling all along the way. You may notice the pause at the end of the forward bend. And again, there's a prompting when the breath is ready to come back in. Extending the sternum out through the crown of the head. Resting in the pause at the top of the inhalation. And then again, as you feel prompted, folding forward, slowly bowing towards the earth. Empty the lungs fully. Relax completely. Soak in the pause at the end of the exhalation. And then again, when you feel prompted, find your way back up to a neutral position. Rest here in the second half of the posture. Noticing the release of sensations in the body and that inward focus that's drawn you deeply within. Simply by keeping your attunement to breath and consciously feeling slow motion. Draw the attention upwards to the spot between the eyebrows. And rest back in awareness. Allow the hands to find their way towards the thighs and slowly begin to roll around in circles with the hands resting on the knees. And again, this is slow motion. You can keep your eyes closed as you begin to circle the torso. As you're circling the torso, you're going to notice there's a couple places where you feel a little tenderness, a little tightness, might feel stuck or frozen. And as you kind of bump up against those areas, I'm inviting you to slow right down over them and maybe glide back and forth over those tender areas with your complete undivided attention, consciously feeling. And notice how, just with the light of awareness, that area begins to melt and soften and dissolve. As you feel prompted, continue on, circling around again, or maybe shifting directions. Again, until you find another spot that feels a little tender or tight. And allow yourself to get snugly up close to that spot. And just moving back and forth a little bit, exploring its density, its width, its shape. And again, noticing how just your simple attention begins to melt it, shift it, soften it. Continue to move again. And this time, as you find your way into the next location, notice if there's any variations or improvisations that arise. You may notice that your hand wants to extend up towards the ceiling, increasing the length on one side of the body. Or maybe rolling through the shoulders. Or extending open through the sternum and the heart region. Give yourself a little space to explore if anything arises, and if nothing is arising, just allow yourself to come back to a steady, still position, trusting that prana moves itself to stillness. As you find yourself back into a neutral position, just simply close your eyes and be still. Again, notice the release of sensation in the body. Your breath. And bringing your attention now upwards to the spot between the eyebrows, and feel that natural uptrendedness. As energy returns home, balancing and harmonizing at the third eye center. And feel that expansive quality through the entire forehead. Gradually opening the gaze, and begin to transition yourself into table position. As you move, pay attention moment by moment, breath by breath, so that you remain anchored in this inward focus and deep connectivity. Once you find your way into table, make sure to support yourself with any props, blankets, so your knees are taken care of. So your wrists are taken care of if you have any concerns with your wrists. Allow the toes to tuck under and bring the palms right underneath the shoulders, the knees directly underneath the hips. Come into a steady position, a nice flat back. From here, we're going to round the back body, pressing into the palms and knees, and extending the back of the heart towards the ceiling. Chin drawn towards the chest. And on your next inhalation, lift the tailbone, undulate the spine, extend through the sternum and out through the crown of the head. Moving between these two positions, cat and cow, as some of you know it, or upward cat. Paying close attention as you move back and forth between cat and cow, noticing the undulation of the spine and the opening of the chest, the sternum, and the back of the heart. Pay close attention to the breath, noticing its natural rhythm, and allow the body and the breath to move together in perfect harmony. Now coming back into a neutral table position. We're going to bring the left hip and the left shoulder together in C-curve. And you might even want to walk your hands over to the left side a little bit, just simply to accentuate the extension on the right side of the body. Emptying the lungs fully. And then as you feel prompted to breathe in, begin to walk your hands around to the right side. Right hip towards the right shoulder. And moving back and forth at your own pace. And then eventually back into neutral table again. And if it feels natural, go ahead and fold back into child's pose, resting the hips towards the heels, resting the heart towards the thighs, and the forehead resting below the head, below the heart, so the heart takes precedence over the head. Relax and let go. The heart is the abode of prana, the life force energy that animates this entire existence. Notice if there's any contraction around the center of the chest, and see if you can just let go a little bit. just a touch. Now let go even more. Now some of you may already have your hands overhead, or you may have them alongside the body. If it's available to you, go ahead and extend them overhead, interlace the fingers, and create a little bit of an arrow pointing the index fingers down. As the arms come up overhead towards the elbows. So we're opening through the shoulder girdle. Now prepare to transition yourself towards downward facing dog. Bringing yourself back into table, tucking the toes under, lifting the hips and fold back into downward dog. Now, I start with my knees quite bent sometimes and then slowly begin to lengthen them. Okay? And sometimes I even put my blanket underneath my heels. Sometimes I'll lift the one hand off the floor, circle it around, and extend it over just a touch more to open up through the shoulder girdle. And you're free to come down at any time. As you fold at the hip crease, the sternum is moving towards the thighs, the crown of the head towards the thumbs, extending out through the sits bones. Now maybe shifting the hips back and forth a little bit, making any subtle adjustments. And then again, come back to a steady position. And here at this steady position, scan the entire field of sensation in the body and notice where that strongest sensation is. And begin to kind of glide back and forth over that strongest sensation with little micro movements. Not trying to make anything go away, just simply noticing. Being curious as you explore that density or that frozen area. Consciously feeling, infusing breath, and allowing it to melt and dissolve in the light of awareness. As you feel the body begin to open, maybe extend the right leg towards the ceiling. You can roll out that right ankle. Open the right hip. Even bring that right heel back to the opposite buttock. Be mindful not to torque the torso. See if you can keep yourself aligned. And then we're going to step the right foot forward to the top of the mat, and the left knee is going to come down to the floor. Now, you may want to have a blanket close at hand. Again, just for your knee. We're going to move the hips forward a little bit so that the knee is just slightly forward of the ankle. It's not like this. It's just a slight movement so that you're still engaging through the quadriceps. You can tuck the left toe under or rest it on the floor. And you're free to keep your hands on the ground in crescent moon, or if it feels natural for you, to bring your hands onto your right thigh. And the last stage will be breathing the arms up all the way overhead, extending through the sternum out to the fingertips. You're also free to interlace the fingers into temple. Now, depending on where you are on the map, you can explore little micro movements and those strong sensations, just with little movements back and forth. You're free to back out of that posture and find your way into downward dog whenever you're ready. And you might even notice maybe there's some slight variations that arise. For example, a slight twist. Or palms on the floor. And as you feel ready, we'll all meet deliberately finding our way back into downward facing dog. Again, lifting the left leg, starting with level hips, and then opening the left leg, maybe bringing that left heel back. Again, be attentive that you're not torquing the body, kind of twisting the body in that extended leg movement. And then as you're ready, you can step the left foot towards the top of the mat, moving towards runner's lunge, and then drawing that right knee down into crescent moon. A slight movement with the hips forward. The back foot can be toe tucked under or resting flat on the floor. Hands either on the floor here, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and if it feels natural, interlacing the fingers into temple. As you press it down through the feet and the hips, you're extending through the sternum out through the crown of the head, regardless of where your hands are. And again, just simply coming to a steady position. Full, complete breaths here. Consciously feeling, and if there's any subtle movement within the structure of this pose that allows you to investigate a little bit deeper, feel free, otherwise just remain steady. Notice how your body opens in its own time. As you feel ready, bringing your hands down, maybe there's an improvisation or variation of twist. And as you come out, you may even find yourself stretching the toes towards the ceiling as the hips fold back towards the heels. And this time, just coming to kneeling for a moment, sitting on the heels, hands on the thighs, eyes closed. Just resting in the second half of the posture. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. And drawing your complete undivided attention upwards to the spot between the eyebrows. Merging here into oneness. Now gradually opening the gaze. We're going to come to kneel. Again, you can use a blanket if that's helpful for your knees. Okay. We're going to extend the right leg out to the side. Right leg out to the side. And we're going to extend the arms out to the side as well. You can tuck the left toes under if you'd like. And we're going to start with just bringing the left hand towards the floor. If you need something to prop your hand on, you can use a stack of books or a block if you have one handy, blanket. And you're pressing for that right foot and extending through the right fingertips. Opening through the chest. Okay? The head ideally in line with the spine. This is half circle. Now if there's space in your body, you can walk your hand back and press the hips forward. Bring the right arm alongside the right ear and open through the torso, extending out through the sternum, out through the spine, and out through the crown of the head. Whatever you find yourself engaged in, you're consciously attuning to where is that threshold where I'm just at that place I can relax and I'm not in reaction, I'm not contracting. Because that contraction then kind of shuts down the heart area, and our intention is to be relaxed, at ease, at peace. Slowly bringing yourself back down. Let's walk the hands around, bend that right knee, kind of walk over to that right hip. A little bit of a side lunge. Slowly begin to transition again. Right knee comes to the floor, left leg goes out to the side. Lift yourself up, preparing for half circle on the other side. Pressing out for the outer edge of that left foot. You can tuck the toes under or rest the foot flat on the ground. Inhale the arms to shoulders. And exhale, we're going to bring the right hand down towards the floor. Left arm is going to move towards the ceiling. Again, the sides will be different. Maybe you need a little propping on the right side. See if you can tense your fingers so that you're not kind of folding into the joints. If it's available, bring your left arm alongside the ear, creating this beautiful line of energy from the left foot all alongside the body. And if there's space, you can walk the right hand back and open up the torso into more of a back bend or a chest opener. And an expression of half circle that opens the whole front of the body. Stay connected to your breath. Only moving to that place where you can still feel relaxed and at ease. And as you feel ready, allow yourself to come out. And again, just bending that left knee, hands on the floor, and just walk your hands over to the left side a little bit. A nice counter movement. Be sure to allow that left hip to open. Beautiful. And then coming back into neutral. Okay. We're going to tuck the toes under, fold back, downward dog. And then step the feet a little wider. You may have only one mat with you, so just if your feet are off the mat, that's fine. Press down into the feet. Maybe even walk them a little bit further apart. Extending out through the crown of the head.
And then if it's available, bring the hands on to the ankles or the calves and bend the elbows and let the head hang through. The sternum is going to fold through. Give your head a little shake and nod. And allow the backs of the legs to open. Maybe turn the feet slightly in. I'm just going to make a slight adjustment on the camera. Again, you're here in a steady position. And as you're scanning the entire field of sensation in the body, you might notice there's one spot that feels a little tender or tight, and just simply allow yourself to move into that spot, kind of resting against it, and then you might find yourself moving a little bit back and forth over that spot. It feels frozen or tender or tight. And notice how it naturally dissolves by simply shining the light of awareness on it. And then as you're ready, you can press it down through the feet. Your hands can come to the hips. You can press and slowly lift yourself up. Relax the arms. If you feel like you want to bring the feet together, you can slowly bring the feet together until you find yourself in Tadasana, eyes closed. Sensing and feeling, again, the release of sensation in the body, tingling, vibration, heat or coolness, whatever's arising. The manifestation of energy through the form of sensations. And then drawing the attention upwards towards the third eye center and across the entire forehead. And notice that natural uptrendedness that follows your attention. Merging into oneness here, in stillness. Gradually opening the gaze. And simply walk the feet together, bring the feet so that they're resting next to each other. We're going to bring the hands to the center of the chest. We'll interlace the fingers into temple and we're going to press down through the feet and inhale the arms overhead. Now, see if you can bring the arms alongside the ears and have the arms straight. If that doesn't happen, just bring them forward a touch, okay? From here, you're pressing down through the feet and extending through the fingertips in temple. And now we're going to press the hips forward and lift and extend through the sternum, moving into Anuvattasana, the standing back bend. You want your neck to remain in line with the rest of the spine, so don't drop your head back. You're just kind of looking across the room. And it's almost like you're in this back dive. As you're pressing through the feet, you're extending through the index finger. And there's a natural curve in the spine. You're in a nice steady position. And you're breathing. And see if you can relax as much as you can. And then as you feel ready, you can begin to transition out of that back bend. And notice as you do, there's a natural movement that arises. So simply follow that implicitly without question. Maybe you're drawn to a forward bend. Maybe you're drawn to be still. Just follow that complementary movement without any question or hesitation. And when you feel that wave begin to subside, allow yourself to begin to find your way out. Slowly finding your way back to a neutral position, standing in Tadasana, your eyes closed. Drawing your attention again to the spot between the eyebrows and resting back, merging into oneness. And then again, gradually opening the gaze. Coming to the top of your mat. We're going to lift the right leg and step it back. Okay, so now the left heel is lined up with the right arch. So I'm just going to turn my body to make it a little easier for you to see. Okay. I'm moving my body towards Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2, and I'm pressing back through that right foot, and my left hip is open. Okay. I'm going to extend the arms out to the side, just to shoulder level, not higher, not lower, just somewhere around here, so they're like one unit. And then I'm going to turn my head and I'm going to look over my left fingertips. I'm going to breathe in and exhale. See if there's a little more space without any struggle or strain, and allow myself to sink a little deeper into this full extension of Warrior 2. Opening from the center of the chest out to the fingertips, feeling that extension and the openness of the heart, and relax the space behind the heart. So don't draw the shoulder blades together, just extend out through the fingertips. Now we're going to press into the left foot and begin to straighten the left leg. I'm now moving towards Trikonasana. My hips are going to go to the right, and my fingertips are going to go to the left until I feel that natural stop point. And then I'm going to turn the palms facing the front of the room, and then I'm going to rotate my left hand down towards my left leg, somewhere in the shin or the thigh, and I'm going to extend my right arm up. Again, there's a nice line from the right heel all the way up the right side of the body, out through the crown, and my right arm is extended straight towards the ceiling. My hands are opening through the arms and the expression of the heart center. Again, here in Trikonasana, you want to make sure that you're not past your edge. You want to make sure that you are able to relax, which means you can breathe freely. You don't feel a contraction in the body, you can feel a softening, an opening. If you can't, back up just a little bit so that you can feel more at ease. No struggle, no strain. You can adjust your foot position. You can always bring that right arm around behind the back body to help stabilize and open through the ribs and the shoulders. And you can also just look forward. You don't have to look up. As you find your way, we're going to press to the feet. Inhale, lift through the fingertips. Position the feet so they're again in 5-pointed star. And then we're going to pivot on the right foot. Bend the right knee. Turn the left toes in a little bit. We're moving into Warrior 2 on the other side. Make sure your hips are squared. and one's not higher than the other. That right hip is opening, kind of spiraling out towards the back edge of the foot. And then if it's available, you're taking your gaze towards the right hand. Okay. That left heel is pressing back, and that right foot is lined up with the arch, so it's like perpendicular. Full, complete breaths. And extend through the crown of the head. Now straighten that right leg again, but keeping that quadricep engaged as you lift the quadricep up. Okay? The hip is going to go to the left, the torso moving to the right until you feel that stop point, and then you're going to turn the palms. Okay? And then you're going to bring the right hand into the right shin, the left arm straight towards the ceiling. Again, you've got that nice line of energy all the way through the crown of the head. If it's helpful, you can bring the left hand behind the back to open up the shoulder and the rib cage. You can look towards the ceiling if you have that range of motion in your neck. Be careful not to lock through the knee right here, okay? You can always bring the feet a little closer together if you need to. You want to be sure that you're honoring your body's promptings for that kind of contraction that happens, and make sure that you're not pushing through it. You're just resting back on this side of it. And then if you know, as your body opens through breath and attention, you can begin to play on that threshold a little bit, but don't force or struggle. That's not yoga. And what happens is your heart contracts. Okay. So we're going to press to the feet, lift up, bring yourself back into five-pointed star. Pressing down through the feet, palms are down. Extend through the crown of the head. Relax the shoulders. And then slowly release the arms. Let's take them all the way behind the back. Interlace the fingers. Okay. If it's available, draw the shoulder blades together. And from here, you can fold forward at the hip crease. If there's space, allow the arms to come up over the back body. Give your head a little shake. You can shift the hips a little bit side to side and roll the shoulders a little side to side, but be very slow in your movements, very attentive. Allow each of the movements to be infused with breath, consciously feeling. You can also just keep your hands on your back body. They don't even have to go up. And then we're going to press to the feet, lift ourselves up with the hands, allow the hands to part. Notice that surge of energy where the hands kind of feel like they're floating off the back body. Keep your attention on the heart center, on the arms, on the palms, and just notice what's happening now. Full, complete breath. You might even notice your hands feel like they're wearing a pair of energetic mittens or gloves that go all the way up to the elbows or the shoulders. As you're ready, allow your eyes to be drawn upwards, the energy surging upwards in that natural trendedness towards the forehead and the third eye center. Relax here and merge into stillness. Even if you feel vibratory action in the body, relax as much as you can. Let go and be still. Gradually opening the gaze in preparation for Narayanjasana, the dancer. Okay. I'm going to walk you through this in a few stages. So we're going to start with pressing down through the left foot, and we're going to extend through the left arm. Okay. I'm just going to turn to make it a little easier. You can open the right hand and step the right hand back. This is stage one, right here, stage one. Okay. Maintaining that extension on the left side, if you have the balance without any struggle, you can bring the right foot into the right hand. You're going to line the knees up. This is stage two. Okay? Again, pay close attention to your balance. Your right hand resting on the inside of the right foot. Stage three would be pressing that right foot back. I'm not bending forward, I'm just pressing that right foot back. So you can see how it's moving. The knees are no longer lined up, okay? And then the fourth stage would be hinging at the left hip and allowing that extension from the right foot to the left hand. And you can either bring the palm down or palm up, some moving into mudra, okay? But again, don't struggle to get anywhere. Balance really shows us our tendency to contract and make things happen. So you have an opportunity to move with intention. I'm at peace with myself as I am, the other as they are, the world as it is right now. Acceptance. Let your mind be where the body is. Don't take the body to where the mind wants to be. As you're ready, allow yourself to find your way out of the dancer pose. Close the eyes and just simply feel the release of sensation on the right side. As that wave begins to subside, we'll transition our attention to the left side, pressing down through the right foot, extending through the right arm, okay. Allowing that line of energy to remain constant presence. Open the left hand, thumb away from the body. If it's available, step the left foot back, stage one. Stage two would be bringing that left foot into the left hand, holding on the inside and lining the knees up. Maintaining that natural line of energy on the right side. Stage three is pressing that left leg back. And stage four is hinging at the right hip. Feeling that natural line of energy from the left foot through the right fingertips. Okay? Palm can be up, down, in mudra, whatever feels natural, without making anything happen. Feel the extension through the crown of the head and the sternum. And again, you're playing on that threshold, so you're honoring here and now. As you feel ready, allow yourself to find your way out. Releasing the leg, releasing the arm, and dive into the flood of sensation on the left side of the body. Notice the openness. Feel the body being breathed. Drawing the attention upwards to the spot between the eyebrows again and across the entire forehead. That surge of stillness. Slowly, we're going to begin to transition ourselves to a squatting position, Balasana or goddess. Okay. So some of you can find your way from a standing position. We just open up the hips, turn the feet out, and lower the pelvis down to the floor. Bringing the palms towards the center of the chest, elbows pressing the hips open just a touch. Drop the tailbone and extend through the crown of the head. Again, close the eyes and just scan the entire field of sensation in the body. And notice where the strongest sensation is. And allow yourself to move there like an arrow to a target. And with a tiny little micro movement, kind of gliding back and forth over that strongest sensation. Allow the body to open in its own time. And as the body opens, notice if there's any slight variations that arise in the opening. Maybe one hand comes to the floor and one hand opens through the hip. If crow is part of your practice, this is where you might find your way towards crow, resting your hands on the floor. Okay, there's a couple different variations. So only if it's in your practice this morning, go ahead and find your way into whichever variation of crow arises for you. Otherwise, you're free to stay in goddess, or if you feel like you're ready to shift, just let your body guide you into the next appropriate complementary movement that brings balance and harmony. Stay attuned to your breath, to being at ease and relaxed, even in a willful movement. When you feel that movement or wave begin to subside, bring yourself into a comfortable position, a neutral position where you can be still. And attuned to the release of sensations and energies in the body, drawing the attention towards the center of the chest. And notice if there's an openness or a contraction. And then again, draw the attention up to the spot between the eyebrows, the second half of the posture. And surrender here into pure bliss. Gradually opening the eyes and begin to find your way to a position lying on your abdomen
in preparation for Bhujangasana Cobra.
The hands are underneath the shoulders, the forehead on the floor. The toes are tucked under, and then the tops of the toes on the floor. And we're going to draw the elbows close into the rib cage. We're going to press through the tops of the feet, the pelvis, and brush the forehead, the nose, and the chin off the floor. And you're just going to lift yourself no higher than the navel, feeling the firming of the buttocks and the inner thighs, and the extension out through the sternum and the crown. You can take the gaze up to the third eye center. And if you're at home and you find this is a little challenging, you can walk the hands forward so you find yourself more into a sphinx. Okay? You can always back out a little bit and re-enter. But instead of folding back, see if you can extend forward, creating space through the chest with the shoulders drawn back. Anchor through the lower body. Beautiful. And lowering yourself down now. Just rock out the hips a little bit, turn your head to one side. And then extend your arms alongside the body in preparation for bow. Forehead on the floor, boat. Forehead on the floor. On your next inhalation, lift the arms and the legs simultaneously and extend forward through the sternum, out through the crown of the head. Again, come to a steady position. Complete full breath. Feel that extension through the fingers and the feet, the arms and legs. Neutral in the neck, cervical spine. And just hold it until you're ready to come down. And as you feel ready to come down, just bring yourself back to the floor. Give yourself permission to just merge into the earth. If you're still holding, you can catch up with us at any time. Just make sure you're not contracted, that you're actually at ease. Once you find your way out of the boat, tuck the toes under. We're going to press ourselves up through table, back into child's pose. And then on to the floor in preparation for bridge pose. So bringing the feet flat to the floor. Some of you would like to maybe roll down the spine, allowing the core of the body to be activated. You can also just rest the hands on the floor, coming onto the forearms, and then rolling all the way out to the back. Back of the head resting on the floor. Okay. As you find your way to the mat, maybe bring the knees to the chest. And then eventually bringing the feet back to the floor, arms alongside the body. Okay. We're going to press into the feet, and you're going to lift the hips halfway up, then the navel and the sternum. And if it's available, you can take the hands underneath the back body, interlace them, press through the right shoulder, roll that right shoulder underneath the back body, press through the left foot, roll that left shoulder underneath the back body, and extend the arms. So now you're resting on the feet, the shoulders and the triceps, the base of the skull. Don't turn your head to look at me. Just keep your gaze forward towards the ceiling. If it's not within your range of motion to have your arms interlaced underneath your back, just allow them to come up overhead behind you. Okay? Pressing into the tops of the hands. Continue to extend through the pelvis, through the sternum, and you want your knees to be about 4 to 6 inches apart, not splayed out to the side. That helps to keep the inner body activated and strong through the pelvis and the lower abdominal muscles. The chin is not moving towards the chest, but the chest is moving towards the chin. And you're on your own. You're breathing comfortably. Feel free to stay. If you're ready to come down, slowly release the arms and allow your spine to rest back to the floor, vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Notice if there's a natural prompting that arises for any complementary movement to bring balance or harmony to what you just experienced. Maybe the knees are drawn to the chest, or maybe you find your knees moving to one side and then the other into a lying twist. Some of you may be called into fish pose, where you press the palms and the forearms underneath the body and extend the sternum, the legs, and open through the nape of the neck. Again, only if it's in your practice already as a natural prompting. Or there may be some other complementary movement that arises that feels just natural and spontaneous for you. As that wave begins to subside, begin to find your way to a position resting on your back in preparation for Shavasana. Make sure you feel supported and warm. So cover yourself with a blanket, rest your head on a cushion. You want your spine to be straight. But if you need some support for your low back, maybe tuck something underneath your knees. Once you find yourself into stillness, supported and warm, your hands can be resting off to the side, palms open, or if it feels more stabilizing for you, you can rest them on your abdomen. Notice how it feels simply to be breathed. Notice how it feels to have gravity drawing you deeper down into the earth. Notice how it feels to let go. And let the brain slide back into the bowl of the skull. The eyes resting back in their deep cone-like sockets. Let yourself be totally free, at ease, and still, resting in the calm ocean of awareness. Your heart open, under more conditions with less conditions.
As you're ready, allow yourself to begin to rise the surface of awareness. Feel fingers and toes, arms and legs. And gently begin to move as if you're waking from a restful sleep. Rolling over to the right side. And soak here in the womb of existence. And gently lift yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Go slow. And allow a portion of yourself to remain anchored in this deep, recognizable stillness as you begin to bring a portion of yourself back into the room. Slowly allow your hands to begin to float up towards the center of the chest and resting them either palm over palm or in the Anjali Mudra, mudra of devotion. Honoring and appreciating yourself for spending these last 75 minutes together, nourishing yourself and contributing as an energetic Sangha, filling yourself with the knowing of peace and carrying that peace with you into your relationships and into the world, even if you're home. I am at peace with myself as I am, the other as they are, the world as it is right now. Whatever your intention is for today, allow that to bubble up within you and hold it close and dear to you, and yet softly, resting it at the altar of your heart. And let's join our voices together again in the sound of existence and for all existence to hear. The sound of Om. Let's breathe in together. Hari Om Shanti, healing and peace. Jai Bhagwan. Jai Bhagwan. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for joining us. And stay tuned. We have many more classes coming to you from all of our devoted, dedicated practitioners and teachers to stay connected to you through the interweb and the heart. Jai Bhagwan.